I concealed my identity as the only son of the world's richest billionaire, and played the game of pure love with the female CEO. Just as I was preparing to reveal my identity to her, I overheard her group of close friends right in front of me, speaking in French to start the conversation. "You're about to go home for an arranged marriage. What to do with this little boyfriend you're dating now? Break up." Evening Frost gently swirled the wine glass in her hand without parting. "I really like him, but his family background is too poor. Can't bring him out. The arranged marriage is just to satisfy the family. He is the true love. At that time just hide him. Keep him on the side and that's fine." They chatted so freely and comfortably like that, only because they thought my poor background meant I didn't understand French. I didn't tell them that actually I understood French. It turned out that while she swore eternal love to me, she had already accepted the arranged marriage set by her family. Using the excuse of going to the bathroom, I went outside and immediately called home Mom and Dad. "I've thought it through. I'm ready to come home and inherit the family fortune." Hearing their son finally agree, my parents on the other end of the line were overjoyed. Thinking of the girlfriend I had hidden my identity to date, I couldn't help but ask, "Will your girlfriend come back with you?" "No, I'm planning to break up with her." My voice unconsciously lowered. "In a week I'll handle everything here." After chatting a few more sentences, I hung up, put away the phone and returned to the private room. The noisy sounds in the private room, when I pushed the door and entered, paused for a moment. I acted as if I didn't notice. Frankly walked to Evening Frost's side and sat down. She spared a bit of attention from the conversation, looking at me sitting quietly on the side. "Star River, what phone call took so long?" I hadn't spoken yet, when another voice preempted and interrupted. "There isn't a single French person here." That person said another sentence in French. "Sister Frost, when are you and Jade White planning to get married?" Hearing this sentence, my hand holding the glass tightened slightly. Evening Frost, still with that eternally indifferent expression, glanced at me, then replied in French to the question. "The date is set by the family." Half a month later, literary words. Everyone present looked toward me, among them one close friend, with a tone carrying a bit of curiosity. "If you marry Jade White, then what about Star River? Break up?" Evening Frost shook her head, gently sipped a mouthful of wine, then continued speaking about marriage. "It's just to satisfy the family. The one I like is only Star River." As soon as this sentence came out, the private room immediately erupted in laughter. Everyone's interjecting, teasing voices followed one after another. "Sister Frost, why are you playing the pure love game like that? Such a huge status gap. Do you really care about him?" She turned her head to look at me, her gaze gentle and filled with deep affection that seemed unbreakable. Without saying a single word, but just enough to answer this question, someone seeing her so devoted like that, reproached, saying, "It seems she really loves him. But honestly, does he really not understand French?" That person was just asking casually. Who expected the others hearing this sentence? All burst into laughter. "Star River's family is struggling. Where would he have money to learn a minor language? Relax, he definitely doesn't understand." Everyone's mocking laughter raged in my ears. No one noticed me beside them, breathing rapidly. The hand gripping the wine glass had long turned pale at the knuckles. I didn't tell them that actually I understood French. After all, originally I wasn't anything, not a poor penniless guy. I am the only son of the world's richest billionaire family. Dating for 5 years, Evening Frost treated me very well, but the only thing she didn't do was bring me home to meet her family. At first I thought she was just worried about our status difference. After all, the Leaf family is a famous, prestigious clan in Sea City, so I had planned early to reveal my identity to her. I am the only son of a billionaire. It's just that I didn't want to live forever under my parents' protective wings. So I decided to hide my identity and go out to temper myself. The timing was so coincidentally perfect. 3 days ago in her office I saw a red wedding invitation. The groom was the young master of the River family, and the bride was Evening Frost. It turned out that while she swore eternal love to me, she had already accepted the arranged marriage set by her family. It turned out that on one side she coaxed me, calling me husband. On the other side, she was busy marrying someone of equal status to her, who was also accepted by her family as husband. In that moment, I suddenly felt there was no need to say it anymore. From now on she goes to get married. I go to inherit the family business. We both have bright futures. After 3 rounds of drinks, the group was chatting enthusiastically. Just as the sky was getting dark, they all dispersed and prepared to leave. I followed behind everyone out of the private room. Just walked a few steps, when I heard a strange voice from behind. "Young Master Star." I paused my steps a bit, turned back to discover the person calling me was someone who had always begged to collaborate with my father, a business partner. In my heart I couldn't help but sigh. I didn't want to reveal my identity. Was thinking how to brush it off. One girlfriend following behind Evening Frost scanned me from head to toe, directly sneered, "What young Master Star River? Just with the clothes on him. Added up, does it exceed 300 yuan? How could he be any young master? It's really a big joke." As soon as this sentence came out, it immediately caused a wave of ridicule. They weren't speaking French. I took their mocking words into my ears. My expression showed nothing. Instead, Evening Frost got angry, coldly threw that person a warning glance. That person rather uninterestingly restrained a bit, no longer laughing so unrestrainedly. The others also, after receiving the warning glance, gradually restrained their aura. The noise settled down. That person also didn't chase after. I followed behind Evening Frost. The two of us went all the way home without saying anything. After getting home, she changed her shoes, then suddenly spoke. In the future, I won't take you to participate in this kind of gathering anymore. My expression was still calm. Even if I was indirectly expelled from her circle of friends, there was no change at all. Just opened my mouth to ask one sentence. Do you feel that I embarrass you? She momentarily failed. Originally wanted to hug, but I dodged. Could only helplessly explain one sentence. What are you thinking? I just don't want you to be wronged, but we have a status difference. Eventually we'll have to face this situation anyway. Has your family ever urged you for an arranged marriage? I looked at her, trying to see a bit of guilt from her expression, but even hearing the two words arranged marriage, Evening Frost only stiffened her expression for a moment, quickly recovered to her usual attitude. Star River, you just need to know that the one I love is you, that's enough. As for other issues, I'll think of ways to solve them. If I didn't observe carefully, I really wouldn't see anything unusual about her. After saying that, Evening Frost went to the bathroom first to wash up. Watching her back as she left, I said nothing. In my heart I couldn't help but think, the solution you mentioned is to follow the family's opinion, marry one, and keep one on the side. Right from afar toward the nightstand, thinking I had received a sound notification. It was Evening Frost's phone. Her password had never been hidden from me. I easily unlocked her phone, clicked into the message interface and looked. It was from Jade White to Frost. Tomorrow we're going to meet both families. If you don't stay at my house today, the elders might find out our marriage is fake. Right? I know the one you love is your boyfriend, but at least for these few days, can you give me a little face? Although the words were humble, but I saw through his intentions. First using the excuse of both parents, begging her to stay together, and after that, he would only continue using this excuse, step by step escalating gradually. But this no longer concerns me. I've decided to leave. Thinking like that after going, I set the message back to unread, then put the phone back in place. Not long after, Evening Frost finished washing up and came out, casually picked up the phone and looked. The next second with an apologetic look toward me. Star River, the company suddenly has an urgent matter, needs me to go over. I won't be back tonight, rest well by yourself. She left in a hurry, didn't have time to care about my reaction. Also didn't notice. Before I always saw her to the door on one side. Complained to her, hoping she could spare more time to be with me. This time I completely didn't hold back, seeing her back getting farther and farther. The ringtone. Evening Frost had just left not long. My phone also received a message. Just one word from you. Frost will still come to find you. Tomorrow we're meeting the families. Wait until we really get married. What are you planning then? A lover who can't see the light. Jade White said very harsh words. But what made me more uncomfortable was, the knife that others used to hurt me was handed over by the girlfriend I once thought we could be together for life. Personally, Frost might not know. Even if I didn't discover that invitation, the fact that she was about to marry someone else couldn't be hidden from me for long. Because the second day after I discovered the invitation, Jade White added me as a friend. These days he kept sending me all kinds of provocative images. There are photos of Evening Frost trying on wedding dresses with Jade White. There are photos of them choosing diamond rings together. There are photos of them viewing wedding venues together. One by one, thoroughly destroyed all my feelings for Evening Frost. That night Evening Frost didn't come back. I also completely didn't care about this. After waking up the next day, I directly went to the company to submit my resignation. That day I completed the resignation procedures. Taking advantage of lunch break, I had lunch with colleagues downstairs. After hearing I had completed the resignation procedures, one colleague, who had a good relationship with me, couldn't help asking, lately I keep seeing videos saying colleagues suddenly resign to go home and inherit the family business. Star River, you resigned so decisively. You're not also going home to inherit the family business, right? The colleague was just saying casually. I gently nodded. Yes, about to go inherit the family business. Everyone was stunned. Immediately after laughed uproariously in a heap. Just treated this as a joke. Didn't take it to heart. I smiled a bit. Also didn't explain further. After finishing the meal, I packed up my things, put them in a box, directly carried the box home. When I got back, Evening Frost happened to be at home. Seeing me carrying the box back, felt a bit strange in her heart. Resigned, I nodded, carrying the box toward the room. Her brows furrowed tightly again, opened her mouth to call me. Don't you really like this job? Why suddenly resign? I stopped my steps, looked at her and revealed a smile. Because next I have a job I want to do more. Hearing me say that, Evening Frost also didn't ask more. Just said if the job is too tiring then quit. Every day so exhausted. Seeing it pains me. Star River, you need to know I can support you. I shook my head. Word by word said I am not anyone's dependent. Evening Frost like this. How is that a dependent? Didn't want to hear more. Opened my mouth to interrupt her. Why did you come back early today? Not going to the company. Lately work too busy, no time to be with you. Today thought to spend some time with you. After saying that, her brows relaxed. She turned back into the obedient girlfriend. 100% mine. What do you want to do? Eat Western food or watch a movie? Today whatever you want to do I'll go with you. If it was the old me hearing this, at this moment I would probably be moved beyond words. After all, I also know she is the heir of the night group. Every day the work to handle is really a lot. So she is willing to spare time to accompany me doing what I want. At least it can prove I occupy a large part in her heart. But now looking at her, in my heart I couldn't help but think, in the end is work too busy? Or preparing the wedding too busy? How did she manage in the end to prepare the wedding with another man, while coming to coax me saying the one she loves is only me? But in the end I still didn't expose her lie. Anyway, only a few last days left. At that time I will naturally exit her life. Disappear without a trace. I shook my head rejecting her suggestion. Finally thought a bit and said, come with me for a big cleanup, okay? Many things in the villa are old already. Keeping them forever is useless. Evening Frost agreed. Accompanied me cleaning for a long time. But cleaning to the end discovered the things I sorted out were all the couple items we bought together at the beginning. From water cups to jewelry, from clothes to shoes, all thrown by me without hesitation into the trash bin. The smile on her face, as I threw away more and more couple items, also gradually stiffened, until the last item was also thrown into the trash bin. The panic in her heart could no longer be hidden. Star River, do you know something? What could I know? Do you have something hidden from me? I raised my eyebrow. Looking at Evening Frost, evading his question, asked back. She avoided my eyes, not daring to look straight into mine. Silent for a while. In the end still didn't answer directly, but gripped my hand tightly saying, Star River, no matter what happens, you just need to remember the one I love is you. I twitched my lips. Said nothing more. After finishing the big cleanup, Evening Frost still persisted. Wanted to take me out for a date. I feared she would notice, so didn't refuse anymore. She took me to eat, watch movie. The car finally stopped at an auction hall. Just preparing to go in, saw a man in an exquisite suit walking toward us. Her expression flashed a bit unnatural. I noticed immediately what's wrong. Met an acquaintance. Words just fell. The man stopped in front of us, smilingly greeted us. Evening Frost's introduction also stated the truth. He is the son of a family friend of my family, Jade White. After saying, paused a bit before introducing me. He is my boyfriend, Star River. Hearing the huge difference in introductions between the two, the smile on Jade White's face immediately stiffened. A moment later still forced a smile. Extended his hand to me. I've heard early that Frost's boyfriend is very handsome. Meeting today indeed lives up to the reputation. Was saying the other day right in front of me. Using French to mock me. Group sisters also came over. Direction didn't see me winking at Evening Frost. Only then did I know this chance encounter was not random. But they deliberately brought Jade White here. In my heart anger boiled. But in this situation, if I suddenly got angry it would be harder to explain. Helplessly, I could only suppress all the anger. At the auction, Jade White's seat was right next to Evening Frost. Unlike the provocative messages, in real life he acted generously, knowledgeable. Knowing Evening Frost was interested in porcelain, revolved around this topic, he chatted happily. Evening Frost also, from initial refusal, turned into her body, gradually leaning toward him, until I coughed once. Evening Frost then remembered. She had continuously left me aside. She hurriedly with gentle tone, are you bored? Star River, I know you don't care about these. If you like anything just bid directly. I hadn't said anything yet. Behind her sisters, whispers came again, although voices lowered, but because only one row apart, I still heard their words clearly. Sister Frost really knows how to respect him, even if he cares, so what? He doesn't understand anything. Afraid he doesn't even know how to raise the paddle. Haha, yes, the upper class auction. He must be here for the first time. Several people speaking, also contemptuously glanced in my direction, saying it's whispering, but I felt they deliberately said for me to hear. I didn't mind. Anyway, when we meet again later, they have to respectfully stand in front of me, address me as young Master Star. At this time the previous collectible transaction ended. The next collectible was carried up. It was a jade statue of Pine Crane extending years. Superior jade quality. Most importantly, the host's introduction said this is the work of Master Jun Xing, the ancestor of jade carving. Hearing this introduction, Jade White immediately got excited, raised the price tag in Frost's hand. This has extremely high collection value. The day after tomorrow is Madame Leaf's birthday. Just perfect to buy it. As a longevity gift for Madame Leaf. When I heard the name Master Junsheng, subconsciously raised my head to look at the collectible on the stage. Just scanned once I withdrew my gaze. Voice calm without ripples. But like a bucket of cold water. Splashed on Jade White's head. This is fake. Jade White incredulously looked toward me. Just about to ask, what do you a country bumpkin know? But seeing Evening Frost sitting beside, still forcibly endured the anger. Smiling said, how did Mr. Gu see that? Because the real one was given by the billionaire's only son surnamed Gu. To his grandmother. The whole world has only one unique piece. The real one is at his house, so this on the stage must be fake. I was kindly reminding. But as soon as these words came out, Jade White suddenly laughed out loud. Even the group of sisters behind Evening Frost also started unrestrained mockery. If you don't understand, don't pretend to understand. Really embarrassing indeed. Even given by the billionaire's son to someone. Could it be you hid under the bed and saw with your own eyes? Don't think because you also surnamed Gu. You can climb relations with the young master surnamed Gu. Relatives, huh? The whole group's mocking laughter grew louder and louder. In the end it was still Evening Frost with a cold face. Stopped their sarcasm. She looked at me, held my hand. Star River. I know lately you've read some appraisal books. But appraisal skills can't be improved from books. Jade White has been in and out of auctions since childhood. And has quite researched jade carving. Posture as he understands a bit more than you. She didn't say anything too harsh. But in her words also thought I was talking nonsense. I smiled lightly once. Said nothing. In the end Jade White spent around 100 million. High price bid for that jade statue. Watching the moment he swiped the card I smiled. Also don't know. When Madame Leaf knows. He spent 100 million to buy a fake jade statue as gift to her. What would she think? I didn't stop nor mind. Stood up to go to the bathroom. Just finished washing hands. From behind came a familiar voice. Star River. I thought I said clearly enough. You can still shamelessly follow. Like this want to be the third party, huh? His voice sharp and piercing. Completely different from the proper young master earlier. I gently raised my eyes. Turned to look at him. Mr. River. Hope you understand clearly. The one who has been with her for 5 years is me. Being the third party, how could it be my turn? After saying I prepared to pass him and leave. But he still wouldn't let go. Coldly laughed and continued sarcasm. Yes. Been together 5 years. She didn't marry you. You didn't think why, huh? I am the heir of the River family. She is the heir of the Night group. She and I are of equal status. And you family with gambling father. Sick mother. Such wretched background, want nothing have nothing. What point of view deserves her? My steps stopped. This background is just what I made up myself. I really didn't think Evening Frost would tell even this to Jade White. I couldn't help but self-mockingly smile. If I really had such background, then is she the so-called boyfriend? The one saying the one she loves would only be him boyfriend. Given to another man. The second knife hurting me. Indeed unworthy. In my heart pained sharply. Turned back to glance at Jade White. The suppressed anger in my heart suddenly dissipated. You two are the perfect match. I wish you achieve fruition. Words just fell. I continued walking away. Just went out not long. The phone rang. It was my mother's call. Star River, come home quickly. Everyone at home is waiting for you. Also prepared a pile of gifts for you. Mom and Dad bought you an ancient castle abroad. Aunt bought you a diamond watch. Said to be worn by the English king. Uncle too. Prepared a garage full of supercars for you. Hearing parents non-stop. Telling how the family for my return. Prepared how many gifts. I full of helplessness. Mom. Am coming back to inherit the fortune. Not to squander it all. My words just fell. A familiar voice from behind came. What? Inherit the fortune. My figure stopped. Subconsciously hung up. In my heart couldn't help but sigh. These people. Why all like standing behind others. Suddenly speaking. I turned back immediately. Saw Evening Frost's face not looking good. The reason a moment later. I then spoke to explain. One sentence. Nothing. Just former colleague asked after I resigned. What to do next? I joked with them. Said going home to inherit the family business. Evening Frost furrowed brows. He clearly isn't someone who likes joking like that. He subconsciously always felt something wrong. Just preparing to speak, I stepped out a few steps. Turned back to call him. Not going. There are still some jewelry collectibles not displayed. Hearing this, Evening Frost thought I wanted to buy some jewelry, then nodded and followed me. After returning to the auction hall, Evening Frost took the following jewelry collectibles. All high price bid down. Had people packed carefully then handed to me. I looked at the box in hand. Softly said, I don't need these. Evening Frost smiled, hugging me. Get used to it more later. Don't fear wasting money. I'll buy for you all life. My lips stiffened. In the end still didn't say the remaining words. Not bringing these million worth things. My jewelry collection, each piece is hundreds of millions. The auction ended. People on site gradually started leaving. Evening Frost and our group also didn't stay long. Everyone drove themselves. Originally just need each go home. But just sat in the car. Car not started yet. The passenger window was knocked by Jade White. The window slowly lowered. Completely no trace of the sour harshness. Toward me in the bathroom earlier. Frost, my car broke down. Can you give me a ride home? Evening Frost furrowed brows. Just preparing to refuse. He spoke again, uncle. Aunt said to let you take care of me. You didn't forget, right? Evening Frost didn't know what thought, face slightly pale. In the end still agreed. Seeing him directly nod. The smile on his face clearly brighter a few points. Immediately after, even more pushing luck looked toward me. But I get carsick. Can't sit in the back, what to do? Evening Frost looked toward me. Words not yet said. I already pushed the car door. Got out, directly switched to the back seat. Action smooth like flowing water. Evening Frost hadn't reacted yet. I was already settled in the back seat. Her words immediately stuck in throat, neither up nor down, making one very uncomfortable. She slightly wanted to say something but stopped. Wanted to say it's just a seat. No need like that. Noticing the gaze from rearview mirror stuck to the back seat. I already closed my eyes. A look of wanting to rest. Just at this time Jade White also got in the car. Car door closed. Seeing me closing, eyes resting in the back lip corner, hooked up a smug smile. Star River. Even if now the one she likes is still you. So what? What I want. In the end, won't it all fall into my hands? Getting her heart is also just a matter of time. Thinking like that, Jade White's mood suddenly became cheerful. Looked at Evening Frost. Eyes full of gentleness. Is Mr. Gu tired? Then let him rest a bit. Perhaps noticing my abnormality. Evening Frost also didn't talk much with Jade White. Just nodded, then silently started the car. I don't know when I really fell asleep. When woke up, the car had stopped in the Leaf family villa garage. Jade White also long gone from the car. Evening Frost touched my face. Awake. Saw you sleeping soundly, so didn't bear to wake you. My consciousness still hazy. Nodded, then opened car door and got out. Also didn't wait for Evening Frost. Directly strode toward the main door. When Evening Frost got out, I had reached the door already. She chased in a few steps. Blocked the person at the door. Angry. Jade White really is just the son of a family friend. Don't mind it. I hummed once. Evening Frost thought I was still angry. Extended hand to pull me. Helplessly low voice, really just son of family friend. The one I love is only you. You know that. After saying, she stepped forward preparing to kiss me, but was pushed away by me. Looking at her surprised expression, I directly entered the door. Am not feeling well, so going to room to rest first. After saying, I directly locked the door tight, thoroughly blocking Evening Frost's chance to enter. Early morning the next day. In the first floor dining room, I was having breakfast with Evening Frost. My phone, placed beside, suddenly rang. It was the timed alarm I set before. Noted event, family meeting day. Frost also saw those words. Before, I planned to reveal identity to her, so suggested her to go home, meet my parents. She also agreed. The two looked at each other. I was thinking how to cancel this meeting. The next second her phone also rang. It was Jade White's call. The other end didn't know what said. Her expression slightly pale. Then toward me. She with apologetic expression, cancel this meeting. Star River, this time I suddenly have urgent matter. Next time I go with you to meet Uncle Aunt, okay? Originally thought I would make a fuss, get angry. Result, I calmly nodded. Just perfect, today I also have things to do. Evening Frost left not long. I also went out to stroll the center. For the friends about to meet. Prepared one gift each. Wait until the meeting place. Everyone opened the packaging. When saw each box had one brand new luxury item. Immediately exclaimed Star River. Where did you get so many items like this? Too realistic. All are real. Looking at their loving can't let go appearance, I without surprise effectively explained. They all had unbelieving looks. Then told my real identity. Actually, before told you guys my family, dad gambling. Mom seriously ill, is fake. My real identity is the only son of a billionaire. This time parting with you guys is because I'm about to go home and inherit the family business. Hearing me say that, the whole group, first doubtful, then shocked, finally wildly joyful, exclaimed. The young master turned out to be beside me. The shouts almost wanted to flip the restaurant ceiling. After joy, someone remembered Evening Frost. Hurriedly asked, but you going back then? What about Evening Frost? Does she know your real identity yet? Mentioning Evening Frost, the smile on my face bigger a bit. She plans to marry someone else already. How possible? Hearing this sentence, the friends full of disbelief. In our eyes she is a rare devoted type in prestigious families. Yes, 3 years ago. 3 years ago you said you like epiphyllum flowers. She spent a huge sum to buy all epiphyllum flowers in the world. Just to make you smile. 2 years ago you caught the flu. She pushed 100 million cooperation from abroad, hurried back. Personally cared for you. Whole nights not daring to close eyes. And 1 year ago, the car you drove had an accident. Originally the truck out of control rammed toward you. To protect you she resolutely turned direction. In the end you unharmed. And she broke 3 ribs. Better than 3 months, almost didn't wake up. Now she about to marry. How can the groom not be you? Hearing friends mention those old stories. In my heart still deeply sighed. At that time Evening Frost really loved me. Loved to the point life could be disregarded. But now I shook head. Gently smiled. She loves me. But her family sees my identity unworthy of her. I hadn't had time to reveal. She then accepted the arranged marriage already. From her meaning. After marriage perhaps wants me to be the lover. The brothers upon hearing this immediately exploded. What lover? Let the Tang only son of billionaire be lover. Their Leaf family really crazy good. At that time there will be time he chases wife to crematorium. Yes, if he knows you secretly left their home. Knows your real identity not wind. Just at this time, Evening Frost and Jade White stepped in from outside. Hearing their words. Furrowed brows. What real identity? Seeing them step in together, a friend just about to speak, was stopped by me. I looked toward the two who just entered. Cold expression. Why are you here? Hearing my question. Evening Frost still couldn't avoid a bit guilty. Eyes drifting uncertain. Our two families happen to have cooperation. So arranged to talk. Hearing her answer. I smiled again. Of course I know their cooperation. Marriage cooperation, right? Because need to talk cooperation. Evening Frost and Jade White didn't sit with them. But sat separately at a nearby table. Not far, just right. Could let me see between the two. Intimate interactions. For example, she helped him cut steak. She shared her favorite dish with him. She helped him pass napkin. She helped him wipe dirty mouth corner. The two interacting made my friends furious. I still had calm expression. After one meal, our side also dispersed. Evening Frost then suggested to take me and Jade White home. Perhaps after the previous passenger seat dispute. This time Evening Frost learned. Dryly drove the family usual Rolls-Royce. Still driver driving. Naturally no more passenger seat dispute. The car smoothly headed to River home. Proceeded smoothly without obstacle. No one thought accident would strike at this time. One out of control truck. From another direction sped toward. Driver subconsciously steered hard. Only heard a bang. The two cars still couldn't avoid colliding. When the glass shattered, I due to inertia fell to the other side. Just happened to see Evening Frost pull Jade White beside to protect. Not only not let him get any injury, also comforted his emotions. My consciousness gradually blurred. Suddenly remembered. The car accident the friends just mentioned. At that time was our 4th year together. My feelings with her still at the most passionate time. Also such an intersection. Also a truck speeding ramming. My direction just happened to be the truck ramming direction. In a flash, I realized couldn't avoid that truck. Could only force turn around. Let my side face the truck. The front caved in. She was stuck tight in driver's seat. Firefighters and doctors cooperated rescue long time. Finally got her out of the car. She almost died that day, but even so, she escaped danger. When woke up first sentence said. Still asked about my safety. Now similar car accident. The difference is, the one she subconsciously protected is no longer me. Added to the Rolls-Royce tail smashed making one. Unbearable to look directly. Until several people all got out. Evening Frost was still comforting Jade White's emotions. Finally saw. Silently covering. My bleeding forehead corner. It was me. Fortunately my injury not serious. After to hospital. Bandaged then no problem. Because injured in head. So doctor still advised hospital observation 2 days. Evening Frost looked at the gauze on my head full of regret. Star River sorry. At that time I only thought. During this time with Jade White have cooperation. Need to appear together. His face can't be injured. So protected him. You hit me scold me ill accept all. Just don't ignore me okay. Her apology attitude indeed extremely sincere. Reason also seems reasonable. If I didn't remember. Their wedding only less than half month left. About to hold. I lowered head also didn't speak. Didn't say not forgive. Also didn't say forgive. From beginning to end that expression without ripples. Evening Frost's apologies still didn't stop. She kept saying sorry. Suddenly as if remembered something. Eyes flashed hope light. In a few days it's your birthday. I'll give gift early okay. Whatever birthday gift you want I'll buy for you. Literary words. I finally raised eyes to look at her. Gaze without waves. Then buy me a plane ticket. 3 days later to Guardian City. Go to Guardian City for what? She slightly surprised. But very quickly. She herself gave the answer want to travel huh? I didn't explain. Nodded. Evening Frost also didn't ask more. Right in front of me open phone. Bought 1 plane ticket to Guardian City. After buying tickets said this time I have matters. No free to go with you. You go to Guardian City play first. Wait until free I'll go with you another trip. Buying plane ticket this birthday gift too small. At that time I'll give you a big surprise. I shook head. Gently smiled not small. Not small at all. After all this plane ticket is my way home. Evening Frost thank you for the gift. Personally seeing me off back home. These 2 days in the hospital. Evening Frost. Was like returning to the very beginning of our love. Caring for me with every possible attention. But the good times didn't last long. Her care also ended on the day of discharge. She said she had to go to the company first for something. Had the driver take me home. A moment later, I received another provocative message from Jade White. Sorry about that. Frost and I are about to get married. Today she has to come with me to the old family house for dinner. Probably won't have time to pick you up from the hospital anymore. I didn't pay attention to this message. Just quietly went home. Started packing my luggage. On the day of departure I woke up very early. There were still 7 hours until takeoff. I dragged each suitcase out the door, and happened to run into Evening Frost, who had just returned. Seeing the front of the villa piled with several suitcases, she was startled. A sudden unease rose in her heart. What is all this? Didn't you say you were going to Guardian City for fun? And it was the ticket I bought for you, have you forgotten? My expression was calm, as if I were really just preparing to go out on a simple trip, but my words couldn't reassure her. Isn't it just 1 or 2 days? Do you need to bring so much luggage? I curled the corner of my lips. Just a few extra sets of clothes. Want to take more photos? But in the past I had never liked taking photos that much. Even previous trips together, I had never brought so many things. The unease in her heart spread throughout her whole body, making her wish she could immediately open my suitcases, check thoroughly, to see if it was really as I said. She was just about to act, when a series of urgent phone rings interrupted. It was Jade White calling. After answering, who knows what the other side said. Evening Frost was silent for a moment, finally still stepped out first. Before leaving she didn't forget to remind me once more. Star River, don't play too long. When the time comes send me your return flight number. I'll come pick you up. I didn't answer, because I knew I would never come back. This meeting was farewell forever. Still 5 hours until takeoff. I changed the main door password from my birthday to Jade White's birthday, then stuck a sticky note on the door. This place will be Mr. River's home from now on anyway. The password should be set to his birthday. Still 3 hours until takeoff. I searched the entire villa for gifts and all the photos taken together with Evening Frost. One by one threw them all into the fire basin. Me hugging her and kissing under fireworks filling the sky, repeatedly saying she was mine, confessing to me under the starry sunset, swearing to love me for life, her shielding me from a car, breaking 3 ribs, her moments filled only with me. We experienced spring together, passed through summer, welcomed autumn, searched through winter, now every bit of memory burned to ashes. We were completely over. Still 2 hours until takeoff. My phone rang. I opened it to see. Jade White sent me a video. In the video it seemed to be a family banquet. There were Evening Frost's friends, Jade White's brothers, and elders from both sides. Many people surrounded Evening Frost and Jade White, the 2 main characters of all attention. Cheers rose one after another without stop. Kiss kiss. I said, Sister Frost is getting married in a few days. What's there to be shy about not daring to kiss? Amid the cheering, Jade White flushed red, closed his eyes and leaned toward her. The crowd's shouts grew louder, urging Evening Frost to kiss. Evening Frost stared fixedly at the person in front of her, finally also closed her eyes. The video looped over and over. By the 7th time, a message from Jade White arrived. Star River, did you see? In the son-in-law the entire Leaf family acknowledges. Your family is so dirt poor. How could the Leaf family ever value that background of yours? Marrying you would be no different from marrying a beggar. So what if Frost loves you? Her defenses are being broken down bit by me. First meeting the family with me, then living together. Just now she even kissed me. Tell me how much longer until we sleep together. I didn't reply to his message. Just silently printed out all the provocative messages he sent these past days, one by one. Arranged them into a thick stack and placed it on the empty coffee table. Still 1 hour until takeoff. I left on top of that printed stack the final sentence. Evening Frost, happy wedding. We are finished. Then I dragged my suitcases and left the villa area. Took a taxi straight to the airport. Evening Frost. From now on I am once again the richest young master. No longer related to you in any way. Guardian City Airport. When I pulled my suitcase out of the airport, a Bugatti that looked obviously expensive was already waiting outside. The moment he saw me, the man standing beside the car immediately opened the door for me. Young master, please get in. The luggage was lifted into the car. As soon as I sat down, I naturally chatted with the man who had taken the driver's seat. Uncle Lai, why is it you picking me up? Where's our family driver? Uncle Lai laughed heartily. The wrinkles at the corners of his eyes made him look even kinder. The car started and slowly merged into traffic. His voice rang out accordingly. Young master hasn't returned for many years. Hearing young master is coming back today, I took the initiative to accept this task. Looks like Uncle Lai missed me. I smiled, eyes carrying a bit of teasing. Soon the car stopped in front of the Gu family villa. Getting out I walked straight in. When I pushed open the door, a large group of servants was already waiting at the entrance. Seeing me enter, everyone spoke in unison, perfectly coordinated. Welcome home, young master. I felt a bit helpless. The servants following Uncle Lai pushed the suitcases. The maid smoothly took them and carried them upstairs. Seeing my helpless expression, he laughed heartily and said the master and madam value ceremony. Knowing young master was returning, they trained them all night for the welcoming ritual. They must be waiting in the living room right now. I nodded. Though the scale was indeed a bit exaggerated, I didn't say anything to dampen the mood, and directly walked into the living room. The living room was indeed packed with people. My parents, aunts, uncles, all were here. I went forward and greeted each one. Sat down beside my parents. Seeing their worried expressions, the calmness I had maintained suddenly shattered. An indescribable grievance rose in my heart. From childhood I was doted on by all the elders. Never suffered any hardship, until I hid my identity to temper myself in Sea City. Met evening Frost. Loved her for 5 years. I had given a sincere heart. At that time I truly wanted to spend my whole life with her, and firmly believed we would sooner or later become each other's only one. It's a pity that in the end, I almost became the secret lover she kept in the dark, yet remained completely unaware. A sincere heart ultimately only fed a dog. My mother saw my dejection, patted my shoulder. Let bygones be bygones. The thing we fear most is not making mistakes. At worst we start over. We never lack chances to correct them. Hearing my parents' comforting words, my mood finally eased a little. Seeing this, the others quickly changed the topic. Immediately took out the gifts they had prepared. Only now did I realize that the things my mother mentioned on the phone earlier were not exaggerated at all. In fact, slightly understated. Property deeds piled so high. Keys formed a thick handful. Even dropped a long string of keys. The most eye-catching was the diamond watch placed in the center, crafted from gold and diamonds. Each diamond unusually large. Everywhere exuded the extraordinary luxury of this watch. Yet they still felt it wasn't enough. Kept piling the table in front of me. Only then satisfied. Just as I felt helpless and was about to say no need, my aunt suddenly slapped the table. Eyes shining. Star River just broke up right. Perfect. A friend's daughter just returned from abroad. My friend is worried sick because she refuses to find a boyfriend. Why don't you two meet once? Even just as friends is fine. I was startled and quickly waved no need. My aunt wouldn't listen. Directly took out her phone. Pushed a contact to me. I had met that girl before she went abroad. Very beautiful. Even if no fate, being friends is good too. Faced with her enthusiastic refusal impossible attitude, I finally agreed. I just never expected. The moment I opened the contact she pushed, I discovered I had already added this person long ago. I clicked into check. Note. Profile picture was a crescent moon against a black background. I was stunned, carefully recalled for a long time. Still couldn't remember when I had added this person. I didn't ask. Calmly turned off the phone screen. Anyway, all answers would naturally become clear when we meet. While I was preparing to go on a blind date with someone else. On the other side, evening Frost finally returned home. The sky had gradually darkened. No lights were on in the villa. She didn't see the note stuck on the door. As usual, entered the password. Was about to push the door when she found it still wouldn't open. She looked up in slight confusion. Only then did she see the note on the door. This place will be Mr. Rivers' home from now on anyway. The password should be set to his birthday. Mr. Rivers' home. Jade White. Her heart suddenly skipped a beat. Could it be he already knew something? But he and Jade White had only met once. No one else could have told him about this. How could he know that she was about to marry Jade White? Evening. Frost hesitated slightly and entered Jade White's birthday. The villa's main door immediately opened. She turned on the light. The villa was empty. She instinctively called out Star River. The echo resounded in the villa, but no one answered forever. Only now did she suddenly remember. A few days ago I had gone to Guardian City. I very rarely stayed away from her this long. Most of the time, I stayed home waiting for her to return. Or rather, since we started living together. Except this time. Every previous time she came home, I was always there waiting. Thinking of this, a sudden unease rose in Evening Frost's heart. Suddenly feeling empty inside. Could it be he really meant it? But thinking again, she pushed the thought away. How could it be? Star River loved her so much. Probably just because these past days, she spent less time with him. So he overthought. Coincidentally guessed her relationship with Jade White. But in the end he would still return to her side. Then she just needed to coax him a bit. Thinking this, she rubbed her temples. Walked into the living room. Looks like I'll have to call him later. Ask when he's coming back. Talk clearly with him. But when she reached the living room, before she could dial, her gaze was attracted by a stack of papers on the coffee table. Evening Frost didn't stop walking, walked even faster toward it. Soon sat on the sofa, picked up the unknown stack of papers. In her heart vaguely still holding a bit of hope. Things Star River left. Surely for her to see. She had said it, he was just angry. How could he really want to leave her? The corners of her mouth curved into a faint smile, but very quickly. After clearly seeing the content on the paper it froze. The first page had only one line of handwritten words. Nothing else. Evening Frost recognized at a glance it was my handwriting, blooming on the paper. If not looking carefully at the content, it would only feel beautiful and pleasing. But it was exactly like this. The words I personally wrote were like a heavy hammer, smashing hard into her heart, heavily pounding her heart. Evening Frost, happy wedding. We are finished. She felt as if she heard ringing in her ears. Her mind went blank. Carefully read it over and over several times. Only then finally confirmed she hadn't misread. I really wrote happy wedding. We are finished. He doesn't want her anymore. Surely just a joke. How could he not want her? Her hand unconsciously tore that page off, crumpled it into a ball and threw it far away. And because of this action, the content of the second page was revealed. Printed message screenshots. Recording from the day we added each other. I hadn't noted Evening Frost. Only the profile picture and nickname of the other person could be seen. She was very familiar. Because she also had that person's contact, it was Jade White. The first message was half a month ago. Sent by Jade White. She flipped page by page downward. Her mood sank lower and lower into the abyss. Heard. You're the pretty boy Frost keeps on the side. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jade White, her fiancé. I advise you to know your place and get lost quickly. Otherwise when I marry Frost, you'll be kicked out of the villa. Where will your face be then? With just one word from me, Frost will still come running to me. Tomorrow we're meeting the parents. When we really get married, what are you? A lover who can't see the light. So what if she loves you? Now she has kissed me. Tell me how much longer until we sleep together. In between, occasionally mixed with a few photos. Or a video clip. Photos of them trying wedding dresses. Photos choosing diamond rings together. Photos choosing wedding venues together. And that video was a frame I had paused and cropped. The most representative frame in the whole video. Also the frame Jade White most wanted me to see. It was her and Jade White, under the witness of elders from both sides and a crowd of friends, kissing passionately. The tense nerve in her mind suddenly snapped. Indescribable panic flooded her heart. Her face turned a few shades paler. Her mouth kept mumbling. 3 words: I don't believe. She suddenly stood up and ran toward the upstairs bedroom. But her legs went soft and kept trembling. While climbing the stairs she even missed a step. Only a thud was heard. Her whole body rolled down the stairs. The pain made her slightly tingxiang. She gritted her teeth, used the handrail to stand again. Limping continued upstairs. This time perhaps because she walked slower. No further accidents. Smoothly returned to the bedroom. One glance. She immediately discovered only her things remained in the room. Everything related to me had completely disappeared, even on both sides. The bedside tables that once held our couple photo frames. Now the photos inside were also gone without a trace. Only left the empty frames still in their original places. Evening Frost seemed to realize something. Panic appeared in her eyes again. She pulled open wardrobe drawers. After taking out her own things, those places became completely empty. Bedroom, bathroom, study. She searched the entire villa. Every place that could hold things related to us, but no longer found even one thing related to me. Recalling how some time ago I suddenly said I wanted a big cleanup, then threw away all our couple items. At this moment, she finally understood why I did it. He was so heartless, didn't leave her even a single memory. The unease in her heart was about to become reality, but she still refused to believe. We had loved each other fully for 5 years. Clearly once loved her so much. How could he bear to abandon her like this? She refused to believe what she saw. Only one thought remained in her mind. Must find him and ask clearly. She didn't even know what she did. When she came to, she was already back in the living room. The phone was already emitting long beeps. The ring went on for a long time before the other side picked up. Perhaps because it was late. I seemed to have been woken from sleep. Didn't see clearly who was calling. Just directly answered. Voice still carrying drowsiness, not fully awake. Who is it? Star River. It's me, she spoke with difficulty. Afraid I would hang up thinking it was a prank call. Where are you? I want to meet you once. Where are all our couple photos? The moment she spoke, my consciousness was completely awake. I lifted the phone. When I clearly saw the 2 words Frost on the screen, I softly sighed. Careless, forgot to block her contact. In my brief silence, Evening Frost on the other side still refused to give up and called my name a few more times. A wave of annoyance inevitably rose in my heart. Miss Leaf is about to start a family. You should know to keep some distance. Those photos, when Mr. River moves into the villa, he probably won't be happy seeing those things. So I burned them all. As for meeting, I think it's even more unnecessary, right? You're about to marry someone else. Why meet me? Hearing I said the couple photos were all burned, Evening Frost only felt her heart bleeding. What hurt her even more was my decisive refusal. Star River, I never agreed to break up. Between me and Jade White, it's not what you think. The person I truly love is only you. How could you just casually abandon me like this? By the end, I could even hear her voice slightly choking, making me momentarily silent too. I very rarely saw her cry. In 5 years of dating, not counting, This time I had only seen her cry once. It was the car accident we had that year. Clearly she was the one more seriously injured. When she woke up, seeing the unavoidable injuries on me, still cried until she couldn't make a sound. Completely unlike her decisive image in the business world. If at that time a business partner of the Leaf family happened to pass by, seeing her like that would probably drop their jaw in shock. This was the second time. I never denied Evening Frost's love for me in the past, but precisely because I had seen how Evening Frost looked when she loved me. So later, when she used the excuse of dealing with family pressure, agreed to the arranged marriage with Jade White, I could sensitively feel her heart had begun to shift. Perhaps she still loved me very much, but the person she loved was no longer only me, so I would become the one she weighed and discarded first. Whether she herself decided to secretly keep me as a lover on the side, or later in the car accident, instinctively protecting Jade White first, the person she chose first was no longer me. So even hearing her choking voice now, hearing her heartache, my heart no longer rippled at all. Evening Frost, we are just breaking up. Breaking up doesn't need both parties' agreement. Moreover, if talking about abandoning, wasn't it you who abandoned first? The feelings between us now, saying I abandoned you. Also, since we're on the topic, please understand clearly, we have broken up. In the future, please stop disturbing my life. Every word I spoke made Evening Frost's heart hurt a bit more. She opened her lips, eyes full of pleading. Star River, just as she called my name, the phone emitted the beep of a hung-up call. She was stunned and wanted to call again, only to find she couldn't get through anymore. She had been blocked. Evening Frost tried other contact methods, but found all messages sent showed a red exclamation mark. She collapsed onto the sofa. Her gaze fell again on that stack of documents. She stared fixedly at those papers. Sadness and anger surged together. She swung her arm, knocked the stack of papers hard. Sheets of paper flew scattered in the air, in rustling sounds, finally fell scattered on the table, on the sofa and on the floor. Jade White, it's all because of Jade White. If not for him bringing this matter directly in front of Star River, how could he suddenly leave so heartlessly? The last sheet fell in front of her. The image happened to be Jade White's final boastful message to me. So what if she loves you? Now she has kissed me. Tell me how much longer until we sleep together. Her eyes darkened, staring fixedly at those words. After a long time, suddenly laughed madly. In her eyes, like a dead pond, suddenly flashed a trace of viciousness. Jade White, I told you from the beginning, the person I like can only be Star River. Who gave you the guts to go trouble Star River? Since you want marriage so badly, then let me give you a big gift. I knew nothing, not a single word of Evening Frost's thoughts. I expressionlessly blocked the number noted. Frost, conveniently, blocked all her contact methods, then put down the phone. I went back to sleep. Tonight I slept especially well, because tomorrow is the day I report to Victory Group as the parachuted CEO. I woke very early. I am confident I can stand firm in this position, but at least on the first day, I won't let anyone gossip about me. Victory Group can be considered the Gu family's enterprise, with a history of over 100 years, extremely broad business fields. Before even taking office, news of Victory Group parachuting a young handsome CEO had spread throughout high society. At that time, Evening Frost was drinking away her sorrows with her group of sisters at Sea City's biggest club, saying Star River found out she was marrying someone else, got angry and ran away, so broke up with Evening Frost. No one took this matter to heart. He was just temporarily unable to accept that later he could only follow her without name or status. So angrily said breakup. Heard that recently he even quit his job. Rest assured, when the money in his hands runs out, he'll come crawling back sooner or later. Otherwise, who will fill the hole for his gambling father and sick mother? Exactly, I've seen plenty of pretty boys like this. Wasn't he just clinging to you for money before? Now that the dream is shattered, it's normal he can't accept it. At most wait a while and you sweet talk him again. Right. With his status, how could he be your husband? He himself was delusional. Letting him live a life following you like this is already more than he ever dared dream before. The mocking laughter about me kept coming without stop, hearing it until Evening Frost, who was drinking away sorrows, also felt it grating on the ears. Her face darkened, suddenly slammed the wine glass in her hand, crashed. The crisp sound of glass breaking, along with shards flying everywhere, made the noisy space suddenly quiet a bit. Suddenly her voice, cold as ice with chilling intent, rang out. Have you said enough? The others all stared blankly at her expression, unable to react. No one understood why she was angry. Hearing her words seemed to defend me. But this wasn't the first time they spoke of me like this. They had even said it many times right in front of me. Evening Frost and I had never said anything right. So what did this mean now? Finally, it was Lou Shiny who sat closest to her that frowned. Spoke first to break this deathly atmosphere. Words insinuating, but still didn't take her anger seriously, only thinking she disliked them being too loud. SNLY laughed twice. Her gaze toward her carried a few points of teasing. What's wrong, Sister Frost? Still in a bad mood. We know you care a bit about him. Rest assured. How could he really let go of the money tree that is you? Do you believe in half a month at most? He will definitely come begging you. Then want to be whatever you say. But the moment the words ended, she raised her head to look at Lu Shiny. Eyes ice cold. Voice freezing cold. Apologize. Lu Shiny was stunned, not yet understanding what she meant. Her voice rang out again. Tell her to apologize to me. Only now did Lu Shiny finally understand. She was really doing all this because they belittled me. Sister Frost, why so worked up? Moreover, we sisters didn't say anything wrong. A poor boy who latched onto you. Isn't it for money? Before, when we said it, you never refuted either. Hearing Lu Shiny say this, Evening Frost suddenly froze again. The darkness in her eyes dissipated, finally turning into confusion. So before they had also said such things. Many times already. So, in the past when facing this situation, she had chosen to ignore it. She rummaged through memories, trying hard to find evidence to refute, only to discover Lu Shiny was right. They weren't belittling me for the first time, whether I was present or not. As long as they spoke in French, she had chosen tacit agreement. Only when they said it directly in front of me did she stop them once or twice. But that kind of stopping, how could it count as proof? That was merely in front of me. She had no choice but to pretend, and those previous tacit agreements were her true thoughts. Thinking of this, she suddenly became speechless. Didn't know what to say, only knew glass after glass, pouring wine for herself again. But at the same time, in Evening Frost's heart, a faint thread of hope inevitably rose. Right, he still has a gambling father, and a seriously ill mother, now unemployed too. Perhaps after some time, he really will come back to her. And at this moment the others also didn't want to continue angering her, had already changed topics. Victory Group recently parachuted a CEO. Have you all heard anything? Heard it's the young master of the Gu family. No news these past years. Because he was training alone elsewhere. Now just returned. Immediately handed Victory Group to him. The Gu family after all only has the one young master as son. All that family fortune will definitely end up in his hands. Even if parachuted, he was cultivated from early on. Can directly take office. Same humans. Why is the gap between people so big? Evening Frost had no interest in this topic. Also didn't join in, just sat alone in the corner. The empty bottles in front of her increased. She wasn't listening seriously. Naturally didn't hear them say these past years. The Gu family young master was training outside. Only recently returned home. Even less thought that perhaps when I left, the words left on the note were all true. When the party ended it was already midnight. Evening Frost had drunk too much. Her steps unsteady. Lu Shiny and the others, seeing she couldn't even stand steady, really worried letting her go home alone. Could only call Jade White. Wait until he hurriedly arrived. Beside Evening Frost, only Lu Shiny remained. Seeing him arrive, immediately handed Evening Frost to him. Brother-in-law. Sister Frost, I'm leaving her to you. You must take her home safely. After saying, she even threw him a knowing look, took her own car keys, directly left the private room, leaving only Evening Frost, who was drunk and unaware, and Jade White. He didn't take her back to the Leaf family villa, but directly to his own villa. With difficulty entered the room, placed the person on the soft bed. He attentively wiped her face, finally carefully lay down beside her. Frost were getting married anyway. Just a bit earlier. The woman beside didn't know if she really heard him or not. Instinctively reached out to hug him, buried her head in his neck. Hot breath sprayed out, falling on his neck, making his body involuntarily tremble. The temperature in the room seemed to gradually rise with the ambiguous atmosphere, but the next second the name she called successfully made his racing heart immediately return to place Star River. He made no further moves, just held her tightly in his arms, as if afraid that if he let go, she would disappear again. Jade White silently lay in her embrace. No other actions. Only a vicious glint flashed in his eyes. Star River again, always Star River. If only he could disappear from this world. The next morning, Evening Frost woke from drunkenness with a splitting headache. Was about to reach out to rub. Suddenly discovered in her arms there seemed to be an extra person. She lowered her head. Only saw a head of finely curled hair. Her mind hadn't reacted yet, but her mouth called first Star River. But the moment it left her lips she felt something wrong. A bad premonition suddenly rose in her heart. Her hands forcefully pushed the person away. Jade White, who was sleeping soundly, was pushed off the bed, with a thud falling to the floor. Also completely awake, raised his head and saw Evening Frost's dark face. Why are you here? Her voice cold without any warmth, making him immediately feel wronged. The corners of his mouth turned down. His eyes instantly filled with tears. Tears brimming as if about to fall but not falling. Looking especially pitiful. If at this moment the person in front of him was anyone else, Perhaps seeing this appearance would really soften. Or, if it was evening frost before breaking up with me, perhaps wouldn't be so cold to him. But at this exact moment the one seeing that expression was the evening frost who had seen how he provoked me, causing me to break up with her. Jade White saw she remained unmoved. Even her face grew darker. Only then hurriedly suppressed the grievance. Explained yesterday you were drunk. You wouldn't let me go to your villa. I could only bring you to my house. Hearing this, only now did Evening Frost realize just now because of anger. She hadn't noticed this wasn't her room. Her face softened slightly, but the wariness in her eyes toward him didn't decrease at all. Then why did you sleep together with me? The moment the words left, she saw his face instantly turn red. I originally planned after settling you to sleep in another room. It's just you held on to me and wouldn't let go. And his shy appearance gave her goosebumps. Didn't know how much she believed. Jade White only saw her suddenly stand up. Before leaving the room only coldly glanced at him. Jade White, drop those little tricks of yours. Our marriage is merely because you're obedient. Easy to deal with my parents. If there's a next time, I don't mind changing to someone else. Jade White's face turned ugly, watching her departing back. Almost ground his teeth to pieces. Guardian City Goo family. I looked at my phone. Another unknown call lighting up. For the first time feeling Evening Frost was like a dogskin plaster that couldn't be removed. Really annoying. Some time ago I blocked her. Was quiet for a while. Recently don't know what's wrong. I block one number. She changes to another and keeps calling. Hang up again. After blocking this one, the ringing keeps going. Finally stopped. I softly exhaled. Turned the phone to silent and placed it face down on the table. Only then finally had time to seriously look at the documents in front of me. This project is the first major project I took after coming to Victory. If I can perfectly win this project, then among Victory's top level, I can be considered to have a firm foothold. At that time I accepted this project without hesitation, but only after accepting did I discover, in the bidding list, Evening Frost had suddenly appeared. Am not afraid of direct confrontation with Evening Frost, just a bit puzzled. What exactly Evening Frost's actions were for. The Leaf family's foundation is in Sea City. Her suddenly reaching into a Guardian City project. Could it be because of me? Thinking of this I couldn't help coldly laughing. Evening Frost wouldn't think doing this is very deep love. On one side preparing wedding with one man. On the other side clinging to another man. Peddling two boats so openly. And still dared tell me she and Jade White are not what I think. But even if she really doesn't love Jade White, so what? Jade White is still the marriage partner she herself agreed to and chose. Even if I weren't the only son of the richest family, she shouldn't arbitrarily turn me from official boyfriend into her secret lover. This bidding was unusually fierce. Participating wasn't just Victory and the Leaf family. More than half of Guardian City's top clans all rushed in. Of course people like Evening Frost, coming from faraway cities, weren't few, because too many people. The organizers directly held a banquet, inviting all participating corporations. When Aunt Goo brought the invitation, still mysteriously winked at me. Seeing her meaningful gaze, I thought I had missed some important news. Face full of doubt looked at her. Anything else? Hearing this she immediately rolled her eyes at me. Seeing I really forgot everything said a few days ago, no longer beat around the bush with me, stepped forward and heavily patted my shoulder. Ace, didn't I tell you some time ago to meet my friend's daughter? That girl has been so busy lately her feet barely touch the ground. Still couldn't find time. Perfect timing. She's also coming to this bidding. You two can go together. Hearing it's a blind date, I immediately didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Plus this meeting place as well. For a moment I truly didn't know what to say. Auntie, this time we're all here for the bidding. Wouldn't that make us competitors? Letting a competitor accompany me to a blind date right at the bidding venue. Hearing me say this, Auntie immediately burst out laughing, as if she had heard something extremely funny. She said, are you really stupid or just pretending? You definitely are the first one. I followed her words, cooperatively gave a thumbs up. Aunt Goo didn't mind at all. So what? On the stage were opponents, off the stage not necessarily. Moreover, meeting her first. A top 10 beauty, what's wrong with that? She already asked around. Although that girl has never been in a relationship. She once liked a boy, and apparently he's exactly your type. Hearing this I was stunned. Only then did I remember the last time I discovered I had already added that person long ago. Because I skipped the adding friend step. Afterward I always forgot. The chat history stretched on. Naturally I also forgot about the blind date, now that Aunt Goo mentioned it. Only then did I finally recall that person. Someone who likes the same type as me. We even added each other very early. Could it be this girl? Initially added me precisely for this reason. I frowned. The good impression I had toward her instantly dropped several points. Now it seemed she didn't really not want a boyfriend. She simply hadn't let go of the person in her heart. In this situation, stepping in, would that count as willingly becoming a substitute? I didn't mention this to Auntie. After all, she didn't know. I only smiled and accepted the invitation. And lost all interest in the meeting she suggested. I just never expected. I thought my silence counted as refusal. But in her eyes it became tacit agreement. On the day of the bidding, she acted swiftly and decisively. Directly told the driver to wait outside the Gu family villa. Hello. The woman in the little scented dress saw me come out, quickly walked over, yet I only stood in front of her, didn't move another step. I still hadn't asked her name. I spoke calmly. She was startled, lowered her eyes, loneliness flashing at the bottom. Silent for a moment before answering. My surname is Song. Song. Soft. After getting the answer, I no longer tangled with her. When she once again gestured to get in the car, I obediently sat in the passenger seat. Until the car door closed. I didn't know whether I was angry or what. I remained silent and said nothing more to her, looked at the scenery outside the window, yet unconsciously savored the 3 words Song. Soft. I had no particular impression of this name. Just vaguely felt it was familiar. I secretly turned to look at her. Saw she was only focused on driving. Wanted to say something but didn't know how to start. Hesitated for a long time and still said nothing. The car soon stopped in front of the banquet hall. Got out together with Song. Soft. I originally planned to go straight in. After walking a few steps, she still stood in place. I turned back to look. Only saw her standing there, expression slightly dazed. What's wrong? I asked in puzzlement. She pursed her lips, raised her head and looked straight at me. Other people and their female companions all held arms entering. For some reason, Song. Soft's face showed no ripple. Yet I somehow saw a trace of grievance on her face. I gave a light cough, somewhat helplessly walked back and offered my arm to her. Together walked toward the banquet hall, near the entrance. I still couldn't help asking out loud, did we know each other before? The moment she heard my question, loss flashed in Song. Soft's eyes. He really doesn't remember me at all. Right when I thought she wouldn't answer this question, she took a deep breath, broke that deathly atmosphere. We were high school classmates. It's just, I always sat in the corner, introverted and withdrawn personality, always the most easily overlooked person in class. Even Song parents were often busy, had no time to care about her. Song. Soft back then, because she immersed herself in her own world every day, reacted indifferently to classmates who tried to talk. So although she wasn't ordinary looking, no one could remember her. Just like me beside her right now. She liked me for a very long time. From the first time I approached her. Unlike other classmates who were perfunctory, greeting once, then never contacting again. Back then I would not directly ignore her silence. No matter the question or matter, I always seriously asked every classmate's opinion, including her. I became the person who appeared in her life, talked to her the most, also became the only light in her life. But afterward, she hated her own timidity and silence countless times, making her only at graduation, through the only class yearbook, add my contact, but never once took the initiative to message me, because she always felt someone as ordinary as her was unworthy of me. Later, while studying abroad, she also received psychological treatment, first time mustering courage to ask about my news, received only that I was dating someone else. At that moment she thought as long as I was happy, even being a passerby in my life forever was fine. She was about to give up, but right then learned I had broken up with my girlfriend, so she returned. Up to this moment, hearing Song. Soft's explanation, only then did I finally, in the corner of memory, find the fragments related to her. But thinking of the classmate who was once silent and quiet, then looking at the woman now attending banquets, handling cooperation negotiations with ease, I still found it somewhat hard to believe. Couldn't help sighing. Several years not seeing each other, you've changed so much. Even more beautiful. Hearing my last sentence, she couldn't help blushing at the ears. The banquet hall was very lively. Many people came for the bidding. Not long after the two entered the hall, another man and woman walked in. I only heard the commotion. Instinctively turned to look toward the main entrance. Unexpectedly, this glance directly met eyes with the arrivals. Star River. Simultaneous shocked exclamations drew the attention of others in the hall. Everyone's gaze turned toward the entrance, and I, who was forced to receive attention, frowned. The Leaf family and the River family, after all, are top wealthy families in Sea City. Why, when Evening Frost and Jade White came to Guardian City for the banquet, act so shocked and loud, completely lacking the pride and etiquette of high society? Afraid of getting involved with these two, I ignored their calling me, turned around, offered my arm to Song. Soft, quickly walked deeper into the hall, Evening Frost behind. Shocked. Why are you here? Immediately after seeing me arm in arm with the woman beside me, directly walking away. For a moment anger rushed to her head, making her disregard Jade White right beside her, hastily chased after. Loudly questioned Star River, who is she? Why are you with her? By the time Jade White hurriedly caught up, what he heard was Evening Frost's questioning, full of gunpowder. Jade White said nothing, His eyes swept over the two arm-in-arm people, face full of mockery. What else could it be? Definitely after breaking up she clung to someone new. Otherwise with his status, how could he enter this bidding banquet hall? He spoke with absolute certainty, completely not noticing Evening Frost's face had turned black, and the strange expressions of everyone around looking at him. The Gu family is the richest in Guardian City. I am the only son of the richest family. Still need to cling to others to enter this banquet hall. These two idiots. Where exactly did they get such confidence? If even the only son of the richest family needed to cling to others to participate in bidding, then who else would be qualified? Anyway, there was a good show. No one reminded them. I in the crowd just frowned. Song soft beside me already turned cold, reached out and grabbed Evening Frost's wrist. The next second Evening Frost felt intense pain from her wrist. Perhaps not expecting Song soft to suddenly act, she was caught off guard and almost cried out in pain. Seeing she still refused to let go and pull me, Song soft's voice carried no emotion, and rang out accordingly. Let go, her voice ice cold, making Evening Frost involuntarily shiver. She raised her head to look at the woman before her. Her face became even uglier. Seeing she was now embarrassed, Jade White couldn't help feeling heartache, immediately pointed at Song soft and cursed. Do you know who we are? Daring to treat us like this? Believe me, I'll make sure you can't walk straight. Although Evening Frost said nothing, but seeing the vicious glint in her eyes, plus from beginning to end never stopping, Jade White's nonsense. One could tell her thoughts right now were no different from Jade White. I gave a cold laugh, first patted Song soft's hand, signaling her to release. Though Song soft was slightly unwilling, but seeing me nod at her, still obediently let go. Seeing our reaction, Evening Frost's face finally looked better. Even Jade White thought we were scared, so backed down. She put on a deeply affectionate posture about to speak, but the next second I had already removed my cufflink. Without hesitation stabbed toward her hand. Evening Frost was still certain. I wouldn't really dare do it. After all, I loved her so much. How could I bear to hurt her? Probably just pretending to scare her. Star River, I know. But the moment she opened her mouth, the cufflink already ruthlessly stabbed into the back of her hand. Sudden pain made her hand instantly lose strength, releasing its grip on me. I took the chance to step back, dodged Jade White's incoming punch, then slap. A crisp sound. A solid slap landed on his face. On Jade White's face instantly appeared a clear handprint. He looked at me in disbelief. Never thought I would really dare. Gu Star River, you, unlike Jade White, furious. Shouted frantically. My expression indifferent, as if just now I hadn't slapped Jade White, but simply greeted them. I handed Song soft a tissue, took another myself, wiped my wrist, looked at them from above with a bit of mockery. Are you two really that important? The mocking smile at the corner of my mouth made Evening Frost's eyes redden for the first time, but all her anger gradually cooled with my next words. Two idiots coming to bid, yet don't even know who their opponent is. Opponent in bidding. Evening Frost and Jade White recalled the documents they received, carefully looked at the person before them, finally connected Song soft to the second daughter of the Song family, only behind the richest Gu family in Guardian City, the Leaf family, the River family, though top in Sea City, before the Gu and Song families were nothing. At this moment, Song soft from beginning to end only said two words: let go. Always quiet and reserved, finally spoke again. Instead of asking if I know who you are, why not you first ask the person beside you who we are? The two words "we" immediately made Evening Frost and Jade White freeze on the spot. She meant not only me, but she was also participating in the bidding. The other bidders clearly didn't match me. Only one person remained, the only son of Guardian City's richest family, young master of the Gu family. Realizing this, Evening Frost and Jade White's faces suddenly turned paper white, turned to look back. The surrounding crowd all wore expressions of enjoying the show. In an instant, the two finally understood. They themselves were the clowns being watched. Evening Frost's face turned green then red. No longer caring this time was for bidding. Utterly humiliated, hurriedly left the banquet hall. Seeing she had gone, Jade White resentfully glared at me, also hurriedly chased after her, fleeing in panic. I saw his extremely hateful gaze, but paid it no mind. After all, Jade White hating me wasn't new. Jade White's backing was only the River family and the vague marriage alliance with Evening Frost. When Evening Frost still loved me, she could agree to marry Jade White. So when Jade White no longer brought her any benefit, she would naturally abandon him, choose someone else. As for the River family, they didn't even need me to act. Once the River family learned the person Jade White offended was the Gu family, the first to abandon him would be the River family. But right now the most important thing for me was this bidding. Just as this noisy drama ended, the organizers finally took the stage. He calmly glanced at the two who had long gotten in their car and fled without a trace, said nothing, only silently in his heart crossed out both of them. The bidding process was tense and fierce. But in the end I still won the project. On the way back it was still Song Soft driving me. The car sped along. This time the one to break the silence first was Song Soft. Do you still like her? She asked suddenly. I was stunned for a long time. Only then realized who she meant. Immediately speechless. Where did you get that conclusion? Did you think I agreed to the blind date because I knew she would come, so I brought you to provoke her? After all, when we first met, my attitude toward you really wasn't friendly. Although afterward my attitude toward Evening Frost wasn't friendly. But she would still inevitably think, if I didn't remember you even slightly resisted you at first, then why agree to the blind date? She reminded, so I came to see. After all, I have no hobby of hanging on to one person while contacting others. My requirement for the other half is loyalty, so I have the same requirement for myself. Perhaps because of what happened at the banquet brought the two closer. This time I was especially patient with her question. We chatted about random things. The car soon stopped at the Gu family villa gate. I waved goodbye to her, turned and walked into the villa. At the door, my steps suddenly stopped, turned back to look. Only saw her car still parked in place. No sign of starting. I walked to her side. The window slowly rolled down. She blinked. Looked at me with some confusion and puzzlement. Mr. Gu. Anything else? We were classmates. No need to be so polite. In the future just call me Star River. Hearing the distance in her address, I smiled. But I agreed to the blind date, only because she reminded, not really intending to start a new relationship. So for now we should just remain friends. After speaking I waved to her again, truly like ordinary friends greeting. Be safe on the road home. Looking at my figure, gradually disappearing behind the villa gate, a faint smile appeared on her face. Song Soft has waited so many years. Naturally doesn't mind waiting a little longer, just as I said, temporarily only friends. Moreover, going from strangers to friends already made her very satisfied. Tonight, unlike the two in Sea City unable to sleep all night, both Song Soft and I slept very well. Until the next morning, I was woken by continuous phone ringing. Groggily opened my eyes, only then discovered my social media account had exploded. Ding 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 non-stop. All malicious curses. Right at this moment, a call from Sea City came. I answered, only then learned from a friend from my years in Sea City. Star River, have you seen the things online? Netizens really believe anything. Others say anything and they trust. Saying you the richest young master became a mistress. Even this rumor can spread. Hurry and clarify. Make those who slandered you pay the proper price. Finally couldn't catch a breath. Words like rapid-fire cannon poured out. Breathing hurried, clearly showing his worry. Hearing his explanation, I finally understood the whole story. Turns out yesterday Jade White returned to Sea City, unable to swallow the humiliation received at the banquet, relying on being engaged to Evening Frost. Reversed black and white, said I interfered in his relationship with Evening Frost. Even produced evidence after their engagement. Evening Frost and I lived together. Originally netizens didn't believe the upright only son of the richest family would interfere in someone else's family. Unfortunately Jade White produced evidence. Even Evening Frost's group of sisters testified one after another, saying I was the third party. So netizens who got big melon in the middle of the night believed it, thought it real and directly came to my account. Started crazy bombing your family so rich. Didn't anyone teach you to have basic morals? Not to interfere in other people's families. What richest young master? Doing this is moral decay. Shameless. Boycott you boycott victory. Among them not lacking opportunists, found my account and directly spewed filth, vulgar and lowly words. Simply unbearable. Of course some rational netizens said, should wait for my response first. At least not listen only to one side. But this kind of comment mostly also met similar curses below. I'll handle it. Did you forget him, the richest young master? Victory legal department isn't vegetarian. He dared spread rumors. Must have prepared mentally for the final outcome. Hearing my relaxed confident tone, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Comforted me a few more sentences before hanging up. After hanging up, I opened the website again. Saw how far the matter had fermented. Seeing those malicious curses. Saying I wasn't angry at all would be false. Just that I was a bit confused. Before they looked down on me, because they thought my family was poor, unworthy of Evening Frost. Now my identity is the only son of the richest family. Even netizens knew. Where did they get the tiger courage and bear gall to join Jade White in throwing dirt at me? I coldly smiled. Screenshot every comment on the internet. Saved them. Right at this moment, the phone rang urgently again. An unknown number. Hesitated a bit but still answered. Star River, are you okay now? Don't mind those words online. I know you wouldn't do those things. Also don't get angry because of this. I believe Gu parents must already be handling this. If you need any help from me, just find me. Hearing the gentleness and worry in Song Soft's voice, I only felt the anger stuck in my chest, completely swept away. Gave a light laugh before saying I'm fine. Am not that fragile. Just a rumor. I can handle it myself. Seeing my mood was stable, Soft's hanging heart finally settled. She didn't want to hang up, but didn't know what else to say now. Both ends of the phone fell into long silence. In the prolonged quiet, across the phone screen, it was as if we could hear each other's gentle breathing. In the end I took the initiative to break this silence. Soft, thank you. Although I won't because of these nonsense rumors be affected. But still thank you for caring. I added the last sentence in my heart, then hurriedly hung up. On the other side, Soft holding the already ended call. Only felt time pass too quickly. Wished it could forever stop at that moment. Just the two of us on both ends of the line. In a silent world, quietly listening to each other's breathing. For her that was already enough. Gu parents initially heard the news. I was slandered online. So angry they directly cursed loudly. Almost personally went to find Evening Frost, Jade White, and their bad friends. One cheap man, one trash woman, really don't know their own weight. Daring to throw dirty water on my son. Truly newborn calves. Not afraid of tigers daring to provoke me. Mother Gu heard Father Gu speak. Even more directly rolled her eyes. What newborn calf? In Mom's view they're simply a pair of beasts. I worked hard to calm my parents' anger. Looking at them, for a moment didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Alright Mom, Dad, rest assured. How could your son let them bully openly? They dared spread rumors. Must be prepared to pay the price. See City River family. Evening Frost face full of gloom. Looking at Jade White crying miserably. Eyes only filled with overwhelming disgust. Didn't I tell you? Best you drop those little tricks. Seeing you still somewhat useful decided to keep you. Yet you had the guts. Directly contacted Lou Shiny and the others. Threw dirty water on Star River. Seems I gave you too much face. She pinched his chin. Forced him to raise his head. He kept shaking his head. But couldn't get any pity from her. Frost, that cheap bastard. Clearly the richest young master. But deceived you 5 whole years saying poor. Now we offended him. You won't still think he has feelings for you, right? Instead of waiting for him to take revenge later. Why not join hands and completely crush the Gu family? Hearing him. The strength in Evening Frost's hand finally loosened a little. Right, he clearly is the richest young master, but hid it from her full 5 years. If she had known earlier he was the richest young master, she wouldn't need to marry someone else. She didn't despise the fake poor identity he made up. Was even willing to keep him beside her. But what about him? He used this chance to completely kick her away. He made her suffer such a big loss. So why should she still help him? Maintain his superior status. Just let him fall together. Then wait until he has nowhere to go. Has to come begging her. Wouldn't that be better? After all, when he left, he either threw away or burned everything related between them. As long as we bite down, won't he only be able to carry the name mistress? Evening Frost released the hand pinching Jade White's chin. When looking at him her eyes finally held some satisfaction. Then you must work harder. Completely pull him down from richest young master position. After speaking she no longer stayed. Turned and left Jade White's villa. The sound of the car engine grew farther and farther. The resentment in Jade White's eyes grew deeper. He didn't do this on impulse. From the time returning from Guardian City, learned bidding failed. And offended the richest young master. The River family directly abandoned Jade White. He originally wanted to rely on marriage with Evening Frost. To stand firm in the River family. But the moment he mentioned it, River parents slapped him. You still dare mention marriage with Evening Frost? She just returned today and came to cancel the engagement. Can't even keep a woman. Tell me what use are you? At this moment, Jade White finally realized he had been abandoned by everyone. But why? Star River, because of you. I was abandoned by River family. Disgusted by Evening Frost. What right do you have to still stand high? Looking down on me. He poured all resentment onto me. Dragged Lou Shiny and Evening Frost into a desperate final struggle. They naively thought, having erased the past between me and Evening Frost, even if evidence of 5 years dating was shown, they could create earlier evidence to deceive public opinion. Until I directly released 2 surveillance videos. And Jade White's provocative chat history with me. One video was a month ago. Them talking in French in front of me. Although the voices in surveillance were slightly distorted. But the meaning of the words still conveyed clearly. Evening Frost hid her engagement from. Even tried to use the name of love. Keep me beside her as a lover. The other surveillance video was the confrontation between Jade White and me. Outside the restroom. In the video clearly heard. When I said, I and Evening Frost dated 5 years earlier. If really talking about who interfered, it should be Jade White. He only raged helplessly, unable to refute. If the interferer was really me, with Jade White's personality, he would have refuted long ago. Plus afterward his words running to the official boyfriend. Showing off. No matter how you look. Doesn't resemble what the victim would say. More like the thinking that if I can't have her you're the mistress. In reality he also knew. He was the interferer. That's why he said those words. Public opinion immediately reversed. Before netizens cursed me how viciously, now turned back. Evening Frost and Jade White cursed just as badly. When those self-proclaimed justice warriors, under Evening Frost and Jade White's Weibo, cursed madly, I directly filed one lawsuit. All netizens who came to my comments cursing, received many likes, and opportunists, throwing dirty water on me, plus Evening Frost's group of sisters, all sued in court. Afterward I no longer followed personally, fully handed to Victory Legal Department to handle, logged into social media again. The comment section finally much cleaner, occasional clowns jumping, also quickly muted and dealt with, waited for mute period over, wanted to continue spewing arrogance, found in messages, an extra court summons, this time finally completely behaved, and for comforting comments, I specially posted a Weibo the net of heaven is vast, sparse yet misses nothing, only those with guilty conscience fear rumors, while I only use the law, protect my rightful interests. Jade White completely abandoned, I didn't pay much attention afterward. I believe with Victory Legal ability, absolutely can make them pay fitting price. Just when heard the day Jade White went to court, couldn't even find one lawyer willing to defend him. Still felt some emotion. Actually, if Jade White hadn't courted death before me, he could have maintained surface peace with Evening Frost, an ordinary arranged marriage wealthy couple, but he was never satisfied. When I was still with Evening Frost, he wanted to drive me away. After I left, he poured all grievances received onto me, wanted to step on me, finally ended up like this, including Evening Frost. The group of sisters led by Lu Shiny, forever worship high trample low, thinking background decides everything, after discovering no possibility of reconciliation with me, walked the path colluding with Jade White and evil, finally all sued in court. Why bother? Instead the central character of this drama Evening Frost, because never posted anything related, only used silence and non-mention, actually removed herself. The day this matter ended, legal representative came to see me once, reported the result, because circumstances serious. In court, those people still shouted they did nothing wrong. Attitude of admitting guilt terrible. Plus I refused mediation, finally all sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Afterward netizens joked. A group. Rich kids crying sent to prison. Really too rare. Probably only see once in a lifetime. I knew their final verdict. Then no longer paid attention. Just never expected. Evening Frost would find me again. At that time I was with Song Soft, discussing what to eat after work. Internal phone at reception rang. President Gu. There's a Miss Leaf wants to see you. Hearing this, I was stunned for a moment. Glanced beside me. In just 1 month, already beaten the Leaf family far worse than before. Song Soft pondered a while, still nodded. I was also very curious. In situation both sides had completely torn faces. What did she come to find me for? I thought now Evening Frost probably wasn't doing well, but when actually meeting her, still stunned for a moment. Only a few months not seeing. I almost didn't recognize the woman before the desk, haggard, face full of exhaustion, looking at least 10 years older, even though that was once stunning Evening Frost. But I only startled a moment, very quickly recovered, to 1,000 miles distant coldness, while Evening Frost seeing Song Soft sitting beside me, seemed not expect she would be here. Breathing couldn't help becoming erratic, but she also knew. Now she, before me, no longer had any right to speak. She face full of pleading, hoping for my last bit of mercy. Star River. I know before I wronged you, but before I really never lied to you. From beginning to end I only loved you. Looking at our past feelings. Let the Leaf family go. Her posture very low, completely unlike when we were dating. She tried hard to restrain, but always from various aspects revealed arrogance. But I arms spread, shook my head, then pointed at Song Soft beside me. The one wanting to beat the Leaf family isn't me. Why not beg her? I smiled, still smiling on face, but the smile didn't reach my eyes. Moreover, Evening Frost, our past feelings, weren't they long consumed clean by you? When she hid her engagement from me, only planning to let me be a lover, kept on the side. When she used French with her sisters, casually mocked and belittled, never thought to stop them. When Jade White and her sisters spread rumors about me, she peacefully became invisible person. Now she runs to mention past feelings with me. Then those times why didn't remember. We once had feelings. These words just out. Evening Frost's face immediately turned deathly pale. This moment she only felt her throat bitter, even swallowing difficult. Star River, I know I was wrong. I'm sorry. But if continue like this, the Leaf family really can't hold on. I still shrugged indifferently. Can't hold on, then what does it have to do with me? Evening Frost, they are paying the price for their actions. What do you rely on thinking one light sorry can wipe yourself clean? But I never did those things to you. She face full of anxiety, trying hard to defend herself, but saw the moment my words ended. Even that fake smile was stingy not to give. You never did. You only coldly watched. Evening Frost, people like you who watch are the most detestable. Looking at the woman before me, the disgust in my eyes not hidden at all. Evening Frost, precisely because you watched. So your sisters could viciously curse me. Precisely because you tacitly agreed. Gave Jade White chance to hurt me again and again. Now you say you never did. Fine, you say you never did. I also say I never attacked the Leaf family. The Leaf family is busy. I can't help saying this, my voice raised. Linda, see the guest out. Linda answered and pushed open office door. Face wearing very formal smile invited. Miss Leaf, she still wanted to say something. I had already pulled song soft. Directly past her walking out. After all, I'm the president. Occasionally skipping work, no one cares. As for the person in the office, with Linda watching. Seeing her out, no problem. So what do we eat? Western or homestyle? Long time no eat, kind of craving. Homestyle. Then homestyle. I listen to you for everything. Song soft brows relaxed. Completely unlike the shy reserved when first met. She turned head raised brow at me. Why do I listen to you for everything? My steps suddenly stopped. Looking at her eyes extremely serious. Made my heart suddenly skip a beat. Just wanted to change topic, continue walking. Her voice already chased from behind. Because Star River, I like you. Her confession slightly sudden. Yet also slightly within my expectation. My steps stopped. When turning to look at her, couldn't help sighing. But you know, I once said, I currently don't want to accept a new relationship yet. So when I want to accept, can you be the first one? Her eyes like starry sky sparkling. I looked at the light flashing in her eyes. The words of refusal could no longer be said. Corner of mouth curved into faint smile. Since you're so sincere. Then I'll reluctantly agree. She also laughed brightly, not reluctantly. But following my heart hugged. Song soft waited many spring, summer, autumn, winter. She believes the next cycle. Loneliness will no longer accompany her. Wait. The story ended already. Thank you for reading. Hope you enjoyed. The end.